Welcome to Pittsburgh, Johnathon Ward. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers have signed running back Johnathon Ward to a one-year contract after a successful tryout at the Pittsburgh Steelers team rookie minicamp earlier in the month, per NFL insider Aaron Wilson. But first, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like the video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, Johnathon Ward, what's he all about? What's his history? What's his background? Well, this is his introduction to you all and to Steelers Nation. Johnathon Ward is a 5-year veteran who has spent time with the Arizona Cardinals and the Tennessee Titans for his career. And in his career, he only has 17 carries for 69 yards and 6 receptions for 52 yards. But apparently, he reportedly impressed at the Steelers rookie minicamp, and now he will join running back room that includes Najee Harris, Jalen Bourne, Cordero Patterson, Dajon Edwards, Aaron Shamklin. So, the Steelers, they obviously like what Johnathon Ward showed at the rookie minicamp, even though he doesn't have that much production in this league, barely any for his time that he's played and time that he spent in it. The Steelers like what he brings, and maybe he's just another camp body, but maybe he could actually add something to this team as well. This puts the Steelers roster at 89 players, meaning that they have 2 open spots due to the roster exemptions for undrafted free agent Julius Wenschoff as an international exemption. Ward joins Anthony Everett as a player who got a contract after working out and trying out at the Pittsburgh Steelers rookie minicamp. Everett was signed by the Steelers last week or 2 weeks ago, and now Johnathon Ward is signed as well. So the Pittsburgh Steelers now have 2 open roster spots, so you could expect probably 2 more signings coming in here really soon before the start of training camp. So, looking at Johnathon Ward, a former undrafted free agent out of Central Michigan. Ward has never had more than 9 carries in a season, and he toted the rock 9 times for 33 yards for the Cardinals in 2021. His only career touchdown came on an 11-yard reception with the Cardinals back in the 2020 season, his first career touch in the NFL, and he has 6 receptions for 52 yards in his career, like I already said. But Ward's primarily value comes on special teams, with 16 career tackles and 533 career special team snaps. He has 2 punt returns also in his career, but that's not a role that he's going to fill in Pittsburgh. He likely won't be a factor in the offense as well if he does stick on the roster, just based off how the Steelers used the running backs group last season, basically only using Najee Harris and Jalen Bourne. But the Steelers lost a core special teamer in Miles Boykin this offseason. It's an important unit for the Steelers to add to, and they're doing so by giving Ward a shot. And we all know in this league, if you're not putting up production at your main position, the way to stick on a roster is through special teams. And if Ward shows out enough with special teams, Danny Smith could easily give Ward a roster spot if he performs well. Because we all know Danny Smith has a big impact on this team in terms of who stays and who doesn't as a special teams contributor. So, looking at Harris and Warren, they're a clear top 2 running back in Pittsburgh, while Patterson will be on the roster as like a kick returner and potentially play a role in this offense as like a hybrid type of player, whether it's running back, wide receiver, or just special teams in general. It's a player that's obviously going to stick and has done so in Atlanta and everywhere else he has went, playing a hybrid of roles. So it's conceivable that the Steelers carry 4 running backs on the roster, so having Ward compete with Edwards and Shamklin, it makes a lot of sense, especially given Ward's history as a reliable special teamer, like I keep saying, because that's a big part of this team. And someone the team liked during rookie minicamp, at least he gets a shot. It also adds another body as the Steelers look into training camp, OTAs, preseasons, and things of that nature. Of course, this is just phase 3, as today OTAs have got kicked off. This is the first day of OTAs, so we're in phase 3 of the Pittsburgh Steelers offseason. So it's just another camp body, someone to be in the building, someone to be in practices as the team starts going through the motions of the offseason and getting ready for the actual season starter. It's still a long way away, but at least we're just getting into it, and Johnathon Ward just adds another body. There's something the team will want to avoid as well, as it looks to become more run heavy, and adding another running back to the room is something that the Steelers need as they're competing for the job. Because even though I said last season the Steelers only really used Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren at the running back spot, if you just look at Arthur Smith's offense in the past, he has used 3 running backs. In Falcons offense, for example, Bijan Robinson last season, Tyler Algier, and then Cordero Patterson. They used all 3 last year. So you could assume maybe the Steelers will use 3 as well this year, but mainly 2, but also just 3 based off the past history with Arthur Smith. But now, just looking at the past history, going back even farther, not even in the NFL, just looking at what Johnathon Ward could bring to this team based off what he did at college. Because sometimes it's not about what you do in the NFL in terms of you're not given the opportunity to. Obviously, he could still have a big impact if given the opportunity. But based off his carries, his receptions, his targets, everything like that, his touches, he just hasn't been given an opportunity. So looking back even farther into his college days, he played college, like I said, at Central Michigan, where he played 42 games, and he carried the ball 473 times. This was for 2,539 yards and 28 touchdowns. He also has 98 receptions for 909 yards and 4 touchdowns. So this is a player that obviously, he's a speed player. He's someone who's agile, could really be elusive, and he has shown that in the college film, his college highlights and things of that. Like I said, if you're not given the opportunity at the next level, obviously he wouldn't be just handed opportunity because he went undrafted, but he does have production at the college level. So if given opportunity, if given more touches, he could be someone who could be like a surprise player, I believe. But more than likely, he will not end up making this team unless it's mainly on a special teams basis. Even though I don't think he'll make the 53-man roster, there's a great chance he still makes the practice squad. And maybe 1 or 2 times during the season, if an injury happens or something else happens, he may get called up to the main roster during a game. We all know the Steelers call up some players sometimes, so even if he doesn't make the 53-man roster, he still has a chance to impact this team on a practice squad basis and maybe even a call-up day in a regular season game. Or maybe he even just has a chance to show it the preseason. It's all about a chance, and he is stuck on this roster now, meaning that even if he doesn't end up on this roster, he still has the opportunity to showcase in the preseason that he belongs in the NFL, and it's all about be given a chance. And he has now gotten his chance, and if he doesn't make this team, he has a chance to show out for a different team that may be looking for a running back who's actually a threat, and they could sign him to a contract. So he has a chance to show it with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has a chance to make the practice squad, chance to make the roster, and he's been given an opportunity. Let's see how he utilizes it. But that's the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the signing by the Steelers, signing the 6-year veteran who's played with 2 former teams, with the Falcons, not with the Falcons, with the Cardinals and the Tennessee Titans, and now coming over to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you think he has a chance to make the final roster, or do you believe, like I believe, he's more of just a camp body, someone who's going to be used in the preseason a lot, but then probably won't end up making this team unless it's on a practice squad basis? I believe he's agile, he could show out, but let's see what he actually does. Obviously, we could just be talking about this, because the same thing probably was said for Jaylen Warren back in the day by many people, when he went undrafted and came in and then showed out during preseason, showed out during OTAs, training camp, things of that nature, and he ended up sticking on this team on the actual roster. So maybe the same thing can be said for Johnathon Ward. Who knows? We're going to have to wait and see. But let me know your thoughts. This is my thoughts. And also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Every signing that comes, every new player, a breakdown, an introduction will be on the channel, just like every other player the Steelers have gotten new. this offseason. So if you want to go check out all the other players that we got, they're on the channel, their introduction. Also, I cover everything in terms of the draft. Their player profiles are on the channel as well. I'll continue covering the Steelers all offseason, all preseason, all regular season, everything. So if you want all Steelers news, don't want to have to read it, want to listen to it, this is the spot for you. But with that being said, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.